joining my little video. All right, welcome to Musical Mondays. Hey Marty, thanks for joining. Alexandra, thank you for joining. Nice to see you guys. I'm just gonna give a couple minutes for Instagram to do its thing. Send out a note to people. Yeah, welcome to my series Musical Mondays, where I go live on Instagram for a very short time, probably for about, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes, and I play a song live and talk about the writing and recording process and answer some questions if people have questions. Hello Jenny B, thank you for joining. Nice to see people. If you put in the chat where you're from, I'd appreciate that. It's good to see where people are tuning in from. So tonight I'm going to do my song, The Latest Meme. And it's my current single that's out. It's currently #1 on the Q32 chart for the second week in a row, which is kind of fun. So thanks if any of you folks that are tuning in voted for the song. I thank you. I thank you very much. So let's turn that down a little bit and just tell you a couple things about this song. So, it's all about escape, losing oneself in social media and choosing to exit the mess we've made here on Earth. And, when I wrote it, I wrote it after this, but there was a meme going around on social media in late 2018. I don't know if you remember it, the 10-year meme, like, oh, this is what I looked like 10 years ago. Here's what I look like now. Or here's what a coral reef looked like 10 years ago. Here's what it looks like now. Here's what polar bear habitat looked like 10 years ago. This is what it looks like now. So I got this idea in my head about memes and how they figure in our world and how they can just be so banal sometimes. Hello folks, thanks for joining, Orangey and Locke. Great to see you. So I'm just talking a bit about my song, The Latest Meme, and then I'll play it. So yeah, the song, it's very poppy. It was written as very much a pop song, and I wanted it to be humorous because it was tackling some pretty big themes. One could also interpret it as somebody my age interacting with social media and feeling a bit out of place or disconnected. So there's a number of different interpretations. I would say big shout out to Sheldon Zaharko, who I worked with on my album. Sheldon really got what I was doing with this song and really encouraged me to bring the humor out in the song. So a lot of the backup vocal stuff that is in the song, it's stuff we worked on together, and he was like, okay, yeah, make it funny, do this. Don't hit people over the head with your message. So I really appreciate that because I can be a bit of a hit over the head person when in my songwriting. So that was a welcome refresh for me. Thanks, Orangey. I really appreciate that. Thanks for saying that. So here I am with my little acoustic guitar. And I'll play this song. I can't promise that it will be a stellar performance. I guess I shouldn't say that just before I play, hey? But we'll see how it goes. And I should point out too that I have on my new Latest Meme t-shirt, just hot off the press. Matt LaForest from Vancouver designed these shirts, and I now have them, and they're on Bandcamp. So so I'll play the song, and if you have any questions after about the song, please let me know. I would love to answer them. Yeah. Thanks, Marty. Yeah, Matt did an amazing job of the shirts. I agree. The octopus one, maybe I'll wear that one next week because that one is my fave. All right, the latest meme. Guys, that song is a little funny to play alone on acoustic because it's actually so much fun to play. There's so much rhythm, there's so much it goes by really fast. You know, it's 2 minutes and 23 seconds long, so it goes by super fast. So having a band is amazing to play with it, but I really appreciate you listening. Thank you. Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for your claps and hearts and saying I did great. Appreciate that. Any questions? Any questions for Kelly this evening? Give you a moment to type in the chat. I love that little chord progression. I could play it forever. And I can't talk and play at the same time. It's funny, I can sing and play at the same time. Good jobby, Kelly. It was good, thank you. Yes, agree. Upbeat songs is more challenging to play. Yeah, it's true. You know, because you gotta keep that energy going. And I'm sitting in like a half dark room, all by myself in the evening. So I agree. All right. So I'm gonna do a musical Monday again next week. Oh, great. Thank you. Cheers from Iowa. Thanks for tuning in from Iowa. Cool. So, and Alexander, I think you're in Ontario, right? And I think we have someone from Vancouver, yes. Who's in Vancouver, Marty, and somebody is tuning in from the Kootenays. And Orangey is tuning in from Philadelphia. Yep, Ontario. So cool. We've got some different corners of North America going on here on Instagram Live tonight. So next week, I've been kind of doing songs off my latest album, but maybe next week I'll break with tradition and do an older song. So if there are any requests, for those of you who might know a little bit about my back catalog, please type them in the chat. First vote I see wins. Thanks for joining the Recreationalists. And Marty says, do you have any new songs? Yes. You know what? They are not quite ready for prime time, but yeah, I've got a whole series of new songs that I'm working on and plan to do some recording in maybe the spring, because I want to release some additional singles in the summer and start working on a new album. Percolating, yeah, exactly. The ideas are percolating, but I will play some new stuff. Probably maybe in a couple weeks' time. I've got a couple of weeks of vacation that I'm just sliding into right now, so I plan to have some songwriting time for that. So I hope to finish a couple of those songs off, and maybe I can do one or two of them in the next couple of weeks. Oh, Marty, I would love to be on your podcast, season 2. Awesome. That would be amazing. I would love it. Thank you. Any advice for writer's block? I've got a great piece, but I hit the bridge and a mental block. Oh yeah. Yeah, that happens to me sometimes too. Definitely writer's block is a thing I have experienced. Any advice? When I hit writer's block, I kind of go away and leave things alone for a little while. And one thing I do, I find that if I can get something in my head or kind of embody it so it's on repeat, I find that helps. Even something like, this little riff I was playing for this song. Even getting something like that stuck in my head or just feeling it from day to day helps me kind of get through that. And I find that when I'm doing songwriting, I use my iPhone and I use the little voice memo app on my iPhone, and I just record little versions of myself doing the song, like maybe three days in a row, 3 nights in a row, and just let it evolve, and then I'll go away and hopefully it's just on repeat or on loop in my mind like a tape. Yeah, I don't know if that helps, but that seems to work for me. And I find that when I'm writing a song, when I have that feeling that it is, it's in there, like it's in my body, I fall asleep thinking about it, like it's on loop in my head, and I wake up the next morning and it's still there. I don't know if any of you other songwriters experience that too. Alexander says you do the same. You record little 30-second clips, hey, of yourself as you're writing. And Levi Zinzer, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Is it the musical part that you get stuck on, or is it the lyrics? And Marty's saying, great advice, all the same over here. Also, sometimes the song doesn't need a bridge. Yeah, good point. Don't overthink it. I agree. Sometimes the song doesn't even need a chorus. I know that's kind of blasphemy, but I've written a number of songs without a pure chorus. So you just gotta feel it. So you're saying, okay, so the music is what you get stuck on. Yeah, you know, I would listen to Marty's advice, like, don't overthink it. Everything flows so good until then. Yeah, I don't know if, do you write with other people sometimes too? Because I find taking a song to my band or to, I have a longtime collaborator that I've done some writing with over the years, and taking that to him and saying, hey, what do you hear? Here. And that also helps. Yeah, if you can't, good point, if you can't feel it, I might not need it. Yeah, good point. Orangey is saying, enjoying hearing everyone's take. Hey, now you're writing a lot of great songs these days, Orangey. What works for you? Good signs when a roof is stuck in my head. When a roof is stuck in your head. What do you mean when a roof is stuck in your head? Anyway, riff, got it. Okay, typo. I love that. I was thinking, okay, is that like a songwriting term I haven't heard before? But yeah, the whole riff in the head thing. But yeah, I do find that hearing from other people and what they hear in it too helps me. So I don't know if you're in a band or whether you write alone, but yeah, those are some things that work for me. Anyway, I love this conversation, you guys. Totally fun. Marty, you have a new album out. Did you find that you experienced writer's block with any of the stuff that you wrote there? And here comes the Silver Devils band. Awesome, thanks for coming. And Levizinzer says, I write at the moment by yourself. Okay, yeah. You know, I don't know if you're connecting to any of the fine folks on Twitter and Instagram that are doing all these different connections or, you know, follow trains and stuff, but there's lots of people who are collaborating in different groups on Twitter. You might want to try that. Marty's saying you spent a lot of time on pre-production. So does that mean you did a lot of your writing in the studios, or like, so you didn't necessarily write the songs before you got into the studio? Songs that felt finished, we recorded. Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, you know, this album that I've recently released, I kind of worked on it differently too. Like I had 3 different recording sessions with my band, and I would just set a deadline for myself. And I think the recording sessions, they were my deadline. And I wrote, was it three songs per session? Well, one session had 4 songs because there ended up being 10 songs on the album. But I was like writing the songs, like finishing writing the songs just the week before the recording sessions, and then introducing them to my band. So they were very new. It was a really different way for me to work, where I would usually have written an album of material and then gone into the studio and recorded them all. But yeah, this time was quite different. So it sounds like, yeah, so Marty spent a lot of time in pre-production, songs that felt finished, they recorded, so cool. Loving this conversation, guys. Keep it coming if you have more questions. Or we can end off for the night. Marty recorded a lot of demos for each track. Cool. You know, in that process that I was just describing, that was the weird thing for me, or the different thing this past album is I didn't record any demos really. We had a couple of rehearsals, and Sheldon, my engineer slash producer, would come to one of the rehearsals and record a rehearsal and kind of do some thinking about tempo and all of that and different setup, and we just went for it. So it was a really different process. Silver Devils Band is saying, not a question, but I know Junior Brother recorded one of his albums in his living room. Great contemporary Irish alt folk singer-songwriter. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think probably a lot of folks are doing the home recording these days. I was doing some of that, but decided to go back to the studio. I was learning Ableton and Pro Tools and starting to think I might do it all myself, but then, I don't know, I spend enough time on doing tech. I decided to step back and do it with someone else. So on my last record I did some mixing on a couple of the songs, not this past one, but the one before. So that was quite the learning experience using Ableton and Pro Tools. All right, you fine people. Well, I have been talking for a good 20 minutes here. I want to make sure I keep this little video under half an hour so that it's easier to wrangle on Instagram. Alexander's saying, how do you protect rights on my songs? You know, as soon as I write them, I register them with SOCAN, so that the copyright is registered. And then that's all noted with my distributor. And then the metadata, so songwriting credits and percentages and everything, gets embedded in the songs themselves, in the digital files. Yes, I do protect the rights on my songs immediately. As soon as I have a finished song and like an iPhone recording of it, I go for it. Levi Zinzer is saying, when I was a teenager, my garage band did a self-release recording on a Tascam in my drummer's basement and my parents' living room. Great learning on the fly experience. Yeah, I bet. What year was that? On a Tascam. I love hearing stories like that. You know, somewhere I have like old gear from like another life. I was in like a folk pop band in the 90s and 2000s in Vancouver, and somewhere in Vancouver there's a whole bunch of gear from that time, like you're saying, like I think it was a Tascam of some sort, 4-track recorders. That was 2006. Okay, so you know, older technology. Yeah, I do know a couple of musicians in Vancouver who are still recording on 4-tracks. You know, they're still going the old analog route because they love the sound, and I think the whole ethic or culture of analog. You still have the Tascam. We were blown away. It was digital 8-track. Oh, okay. So it was a digital Tascam. I guess in 2006, the technology was far enough along that it could be that. I could maybe play this song as like a ballad. The latest me, how do I see All right, you're welcome, Alexandra. Thank you for tuning in. I will close us off. Now, thanks everyone for tuning in. I hope you'll tune in again. I love these chats about songwriting and recording. Next week I will probably do an older song, maybe a song from the 1990s, early 2000s when I was in that folk pop band Hazel Motes. I think I might do a song from them. So thanks everyone. Stay well and take care, and see you next time.